Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I'm certainly having a wonderful day because I get to spend it with you guys, which, hey, what can make me happier than being with you? So today we're going to talk about headaches. How many people have headaches? Raise your hands. A lot of you. How many people's lives have been affected by somebody with headaches? A lot of you. It's a real common situation, and I'm a chiropractor. It's the first time listening. I'm board certified in chiropractic. I'm board certified in orthopedics. I'm board certified in pain management, double board certified in nutrition, BS in nutrition, retired dietitian, award-winning author. This is the largest health and wellness radio broadcast in the country right now, and so we go all over the country, all over the world. Actually, with the internet, we get calls and messages from all over the world. So thanks, guys, for listening around the world. And so as a chiropractor, of course, my team of doctors, we see a lot of headaches. And people always say, well, doc, what's causing my headache? And so there's several things I want to talk about. The number one cause, by far, not even close to anything else, is a pinched nerve in the neck. So I research constantly. And reading about it, you can take magnesium, you can take B12, you can cut out glutamine, and we're going to talk all about those things today. But by far, the number one reason people have headaches is pinched nerves. And when we can unpinch those nerves, we open up the nerve supply up into the brain or the arm or the leg or the liver or the spleen, wherever you have pain. And usually that helps tremendously. So everything we're going to talk about today are things that you can do nutritionally, but always remember that if you have a pinched nerve, you can't fix that one. I wish you could. I wish I could. I'm a patient too. And when I have health problems, things out of place, bones out of place, muscle spasms, aches, pains, I wish I could adjust myself. Adjustment is putting the bones back in place, but I can't. And so because of that, I have to rely on my team of doctors. But we're going to talk about the things that you can do to take care of those nasty headaches. Because if it's a headache, like any pain, it's a warning sign. It's telling you that something's wrong. And to ignore it is a very dangerous thing to do. A lot of people will take medication. Hey, I'm not against that. If I have a headache, I want to take acetaminophen works for me. Acetaminophen, by the way, helps block the pain signals. Ibuprofen helps reduce inflammation. So that's why you may take one and it doesn't work, and then you take the other and it does work, because it depends what's causing the headaches. So just so you know, I always remember ibuprofen, inflammation, and acetaminophen then would be blocking pain. And covering it up is, hey, if I'm in pain, I want to cover it up, but then I want to get to the cause of the problem as well. So that's what we do in our offices. We get to the cause of the problems. We don't just treat the symptoms. Recent research shows that people who develop migraine headaches late in life with an aura, that's when you start getting weird visual issues involved, have a six-fold increase in the risk of having a stroke. And that's pretty frightening. So that's why I'm talking about this today, is I want to let you know that the headache is a lot more than just a headache. It could be something really serious going on that you need to fix. So migraine headaches can have different symptoms. Migraine headache can have an aura, which is flashes of lights. You have a sensation of flashes of lights. Or you can have no aura. Right, great. A little confusing now. Some migraines are very intense. Some are mild. Some can cause temporary paralysis of one side of the face, or numbness in the hands, or in the facial muscles itself. And migraines can cause loss of vision in one eye, or half of the visual field. So if a patient comes in and says, Doc, one eye is fine, the other one I can only see out of half the eye. It looks like somebody put like a half a circle over my eye. That's one of the ways we can diagnose it a migraine. And ultimately, it could even cause things like a coma. Those are extremely rare, but that can happen. Some people have the aura and no headaches, which is called a migraine without the auras. There's some with the auras. Either way, there's something wrong. Now, there's different types of headaches. There's cluster headaches. There's sinus headaches. Sometimes if it's in the front of the face, if the sinuses are filled up. Did a show last week, I think it was, or the week before, and we talked about allergies. And a lot of people, of course, suffer from allergies, especially in the springtime, but all times of year. And we have to start looking at the digestive system, because the gut has bacteria in it. And if you have good bacteria, you're less likely to have bad allergies. You also have to check your digestive system regarding the stomach area. If you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, you may not be breaking down your proteins in your food. Everything has protein, by the way. I think water is the only thing that doesn't have protein. But proteins get broken down in your stomach into something called amino acids, and then the amino acids get absorbed into your blood system. If you're not breaking down your proteins properly, these big chunks of partially digested protein get absorbed into your blood system. The immune system attacks these foreign big chunks of protein, and that can cause an allergic reaction. And then histamine is released, which causes inflammation, And then sometimes you become hyperexcited and you produce too much histamine. And that can cause headaches too. But you have to stop putting the things in your body that are causing the histamine reaction, that are causing the allergies, that are causing the headaches. And many times that solves your problems. So what are those things? Well, number one, food allergen is dairy. And when it comes to migraines or any type of headaches, I'm going to recommend you cut out the dairy. And guess what? I'm going to recommend you cut out the dairy even if you don't have headaches or allergies. Because I'm not a fan of dairy. We're not cows. We shouldn't be drinking cow's milk. So what you eat has a major bearing on it. Wheat is a biggie. If you do a lot of wheat, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pasta, that's also sugar too. So you're putting these sugars in the body, which we're going to talk about today, can also be triggering your headaches. So one of the tricks I want you to do is go to my website, drjoeesposito.com, and under patient forms, you'll see something called a diet diary. Print that up. It's free. It's yours. Start writing down everything you eat. Now, when I say everything, I mean everything. If you have a snack, if you have a handful of nuts, if whatever it is, write it down. And then when you get a headache or neck pain or back pain or digestive problems, whatever it is, write your symptoms in the margin. And then I want you to see if you can find a pattern. I'm going to go to a break pretty soon. When I come back, I'm going to tell you my pattern. There are certain foods that I eat that cause me to get headaches. And it took me years to figure out the pattern. I don't want you to suffer. I want you to figure out right away and get to the cause of the problem. So it's serious business when you start getting headaches. It's not a game. It's just like any other pain. If you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingle, muscle weakness, these are usually signs that you have pinched nerves. And what should you do? Unpinch the nerves. Doesn't it make sense? My team of doctors, we're in the Atlanta area. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. And we get to the cause of the problem, not just treat the symptoms. And that's what we do from a nutritional standpoint, from a digestive standpoint, and also from a structural standpoint. Folks, I'm going to open up the phone lines if you have any healthcare questions, not just about headaches or pain, but anything. 844-44-Dr. Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. My website is drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe. We have a podcast there. We podcast all our radio shows, all our videos. We have some big lectures coming up. So if you want to go to my website, look at the lectures. And some of them have tickets, and some of them we're going to give away some tickets for as well on the website, drjoeesposito.com. Hey, folks, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe here. I am so happy that you're here, and we got lots of callers calling in, lots of good information today. We're talking about headaches. How many people have them? How many people's lives have been affected by them? A lot of you, I know you have. And we're trying to get to what's causing your headaches, and there's different things that can cause it, and then most common things you can do to prevent them. Because what's amazing, and this happens all the time in my offices, is patients come in, my doctors start treating them, my doctors do a nutrition analysis with them, and they say, I never realized that blank was causing so much of my problems. Diet soda, that's a big one too. Aspartame can cause headaches. The number one side effect of aspartame is headaches. And people say, well, I've been drinking diet sodas forever. And then now you hear this too. Why didn't somebody tell me this sooner? Why didn't somebody tell me that my 2 or 3 diet sodas a day were causing so many health problems, headaches being one of them? And my answer is, our answer, my doctors are always, I don't know. I don't know why somebody didn't tell you this. But now you know. And that's why you listen to the show. And that's why you refer your friends to this show. And that's why you listen to the podcast at drjoeesposito.com, because we want to get you educated. Start taking some questions. If you have a question, 844-44-Dr. Joe. Jenny, how can we make your day better?
Hi, Dr. Joe. It's kind of funny that you have this your topic for tonight, because I've been getting my probiotics from drinking kefir, and it's added after it's pasteurized. And
good.
I noticed recently on some research that I was doing about some of the bacteria that you should stay away from if you're trying to lose weight, which I'm trying to do.
Uh-huh.
And 3 of them are in my kefir that I'm drinking. And I can't, I've looked at yogurt and all this other kefir to try to stay away from these three specific strains, which are Cassia, Reuters, and Bulgaricus.
Uh-huh.
And they either have 2 or 3 of those in all the kefir that I'm trying to consume. And I was just wondering, do you know of any probiotics that do not have those 3 strains? And was the research that is saying it's going to increase your histamine level taking these 3 different strains if you're trying to lose weight?
Okay. Well, number one is we do need probiotics, but not everyone needs to be taking probiotics. If you have a healthy diet and you take something called prebiotics, your body then will, it's food, it's fertilizing the probiotics. Pro are the good bacteria. Probiotic means in favor of life, probiotic. And prebiotics feed the bacteria that are already in your colon. So if you want to make more of the bacteria that you have in your colon, you could do things like prebiotics. Last night for dinner, I had artichokes. Love artichokes. And artichokes have a lot of prebiotics in them. Dr. Joe's Super Greens have prebiotics. They have some probiotics as well. But again, a mixture is going to be the key there. And there is research that shows that skinny people have different bacteria in their colon than fat people. That is true. But if you change your diet and you cut back on the bad foods, the breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, fatty foods, corn especially. I mean, what do we feed cows? We feed them corn to make them fat. We feed pigs corn to make them fat. Why are we eating corn then? It's going to make us fat. Your bacteria your bacteria will change. You can grow the good bacteria in your colon by itself. So things like Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source would be great for you. And then eating a lot of vegetables, which have the prebiotics in them, which is pretty much all vegetables, then you can change around the bacteria in your colon. In fact, I did a show on this last week or the week before. If you go to my website, you can read about it on the immune system and allergies, and we talk a lot about the pre and probiotics. Okay?
One question I have on the vitamin C. I'm trying to get a vitamin C, and I know you kind of told people to stay away from ascorbic acid because that's only one molecule of vitamin C. I'm trying to find the appropriate vitamin C, and it's like I can't find anything that doesn't say ascorbic acid.
Amazing, isn't it? Yeah, ascorbic acid's cheap, and the pure vitamin C, they usually have rose hips as one vitamin C. But if you're eating a good variety of fruits and vegetables, you don't need to take any additional vitamin C. You're going to get it all from your fruits. And Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, of course, my favorites. You'll get plenty of vitamin C.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it, Dr.
My pleasure. Thanks for calling, Jenny. I appreciate it. Folks, if you have a question, 844-44 Dr. Joe. Let's grab another caller before the break. Marlano, how can we make your day better?
Greetings, Dr. Joe. Yes, I have a question. I do a lot of driving, and I'm having problems with my iliopsoas muscle.
Yes.
And it's causing me to the point where it's been going on a few months, and it's causing me to have a pelvic tilt. Yep. And I tried getting adjusted with it, but I'm still having problems. I stretch, and I'm wondering how can I really relieve that?
I check the iliopsoas muscle on every one of the patients I adjust, and I have my doctors check it as well on most of our patients. It's a muscle that attaches to your spine and attaches to your leg. It's your major hip flexor. It's the reason you can bring your leg up to your body. Useless information. It's also filet mignon in a cow, but that means nothing to you. I just thought I'd throw it out there. Yeah. But if the psoas spasms, it's the only muscle in the body that attaches to a disc. All the other muscles attach to bones. So if the psoas spasms, it can actually pull a disc out of place. And I find that every patient with scoliosis that I've ever treated, and this is 35 years now with my internships, there's always a psoas component to the scoliosis that's never been addressed. And the way to do it, unfortunately you can't do it to yourself, is you have to go in there and massage the psoas. And so what I do with my patients, laying on your back, I bend your knee, and I just gently take the palm of my hand and push onto the psoas, almost like a wiper blade, like on a car wiper, and massage that psoas to release. I don't know of any personal massage that you can do to get that psoas to release, unfortunately. If you want to come see us, you're right up the street from one of our offices. We can check the psoas for you.
That's on Barclay?
Yeah, Barclay Circle in 41, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes, I'll come in then.
Great, Marla. I will take a look at it then for you. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Bye. And, folks, if you have a question, 844-44 Dr. Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. That number, by the way, rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air. And you heard me talk about Super Greens and Essential Source. Those are the two supplements I recommend everybody take. It's the minimum amount of nutrients you need on a daily basis. That's not instead of a good diet. It's in addition to a good diet. And there's information on my website, drjoeesposito.com. There are two powders. I mix it up. I take a jar, shake it up with some coconut milk or almond milk because I don't do dairy, and drink it every day, at least once a day. Now, if I have a big day, if I'm going hiking, if I have a date, if I'm going, I don't know, a bunch of lectures in the same day, I'll take it a double dose. You're not going to overdose. I mean, I guess if you take too much, you might get diarrhea. I don't know. I've never taken too much. But stuff's great. And then we have other supplements as well. We have Dr. Joe's enzyme support. If you're eating a lot of cooked foods, you need to get the enzymes in your body. If you're stressed out, how many people are stressed out? Raise your hands. A lot of you. We're going to get to B vitamins and headaches, and B vitamins are extremely important for people with headaches. We have Dr. Joe's B complex. We have a nitric oxide support, which opens up the blood vessels, and that's kind of cool too, because sometimes with headaches, this constriction of the muscles, you got to open, and blood vessels, you got to open it up, and nitric oxide is great for that. And most of us need adrenal support. Most of us have burned out our adrenals. We drink coffee, we get stressed out, we have a bad diet, we're getting older. So there's a bunch of supplements. Anyway, we can do a nutritional evaluation if you come in our office, or we can do it, over the phone if we need to too. Folks, got to go to break. If you have a healthcare question, 844-44-Dr. My website with all that information, and my podcast, drjoeesposito.com, which is Google Dr. Joe, #1 Dr. Joe in the world. Also on Amazon. If you have an Amazon account, you can also get the supplements there. Folks, got a lot more to talk about when it comes to migraines. Foods that trigger it, lifestyles that trigger it, pinched nerves. Going to talk a little bit more about that. And then things you can do and take to help get rid of them. 844-44-Dr. Joe. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad that you're spending a little time with me today. We're talking about headaches, but boy, we had a lot of callers calling in, which is great. A lot of you have questions, and that's what we're here for. This show is designed to help you get well and stay well. I want to give you the tools that you need to, at the end of the show, incorporate into your life immediately. And that's why we do these shows, and that's why we put them on podcasts. Well over 1,000 hours of podcasts on my website, drjoeesposito.com. And you can listen to them there. We have videos of live lectures. Check my lecture schedule. Got a lot of lectures coming up. Love to have you come out to the live lectures. They're just a blast. They're so much fun. And I can show you things I can't show you on the radio because so much of healthcare is physical, not chemical. Let's go back to the callers here, and then I'll go back to headaches when we have some time. John, how can we make your day better?
I've been diagnosed with low T, and I need to get away from any of this crap they got on the internet. And I believe that diet can do it, and I believe you're the man to help me with the proper diet for low T.
I think you are correct, John. Okay, a couple of things. Number one is we have to stop fighting the testosterone. And the thing that fights testosterone is estrogen. So number one, we got to cut out all the estrogen-like compounds that you're putting in your body. That would be commercial animal products. That would be commercial dairy, bread, commercial dairy like butters, cheese, yogurt, ice cream, eggs can be a problem. So going to a more plant-based diet automatically is going to stop getting a lot of estrogen into your body because they give estrogen to these animals to make them get bigger. Estrogen's a growth hormone, makes you fat. Number two, if you're overweight, John, we got to get you to lose weight because you're producing your own estrogen if you're overweight. Fat produces estrogen, which counteracts testosterone. If you're under stress, your adrenal glands produce testosterone. So how do we get the testosterone level up? We got to feed the adrenal glands. We have a great supplement I take every day. It's Dr. Joe's Optimal Adrenal Support, and that's on my website. It's an adrenal supplement, and it's a bunch of different herbs that feed the adrenals so that they can get working again normally. Stress, of course, is going to be a biggie because stress puts a strain on your adrenals. So there's physical stress like pain. There's chemical stress like foods. And then there's emotional stress too. Now, we can usually fix the physical through chiropractic. You can fix the chemical. And then if there's emotional stress, it's a lot easier to deal with. But the key is going to be, John, is get those adrenal glands working again. So Dr. Joe's Adrenal Support, absolutely. Of course, Super Green's an essential source. Recommend that for everybody. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the nerves that go to the adrenals. Right, if you were a woman, right below your bra strap, right in that area. That's the nerve supply to the kidneys and the adrenals. So if you have a pinched nerve there, if you have any pain, poke around in there. If it's sore right on your spine, chances are you have a pinched nerve. We need to unpinch that nerve and open up the nerve supply to the adrenals. And in most cases, I see my patients' testosterone levels go up if we do all those things.
Well, that's one area I don't have.
What's that?
I'm not an adrenal gland under my breast from wearing a bra.
Oh, I know that. But imagine if you did. That's the area we're looking for.
Okay.
So, all right, John?
Now,
yes.
I'm 9 pounds underweight, and I've been on Dr. Daniel Amen's plant-based diet.
Good.
And dropped about 40 pounds. I'm 9 pounds underweight now.
Okay. Well, that's good. You're not overweight, so that's one thing we don't have to worry about then. I would take that one off the list. But try the adrenal supplements. The Super Green's the essential source, and let's see where we go from there.
Okay. I've tried to buy it on Amazon, but just thinking about Amazon gives me a headache.
Okay.
Doing business with them. And I've got 4 walls in my apartment. I don't need to beat my head against Amazon. I can do it against walls.
I understand that. Well, you come by our offices. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Pick them up and save shipping then, too. How about that? Yeah. All right, John, got to run. Thanks so much. All right, let's see. How are we doing, Until? We got a few minutes here. Yeah. Randall, how can we make your day better?
Yes, sir. I've been having a lot of problems with weakness, and I'm not able to function normally because of my reoccurrence with alcoholism. I've detoxed myself several times in the past few years, and then I actually went into the hospital just yesterday, and they denied me detoxification. I'm wondering what kind of what should I do about my dietary habits?
Sure, no problem.
Something that I can do.
Absolutely. Got to cut out all the sugars, Randall. Breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas. You got to cut the sugar out because the sugar processes in the liver just like the alcohol does. So we got to get the liver to heal. So you got to cut out the breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas. Dr. Joe's B vitamins would be great for you because every person I've ever known who drinks excessive alcohol is deficient in B vitamins. So Dr. Joe's B complex would just be rocking it for you. Milk thistle. You can get that at a health food store. Get some milk thistle, and that's a supplement that's a product that has a Silmarian in it. And Silmarian helps produce glutathione, and glutathione helps detoxify the liver. So you can get, we don't have you can call my office. We have something called Livton. We can get that for you. But if you want to go to your own health food store, get some milk thistle. So the B vitamins, super greens, essential source, milk thistle, and no sugars. That would be my first steps.
Okay. Extra, would that be extra B vitamins? Because I do drink Powerade to get the, trying to.
Yeah, I wouldn't drink. I try to stay. Fluids, the best thing you can drink is going to be water. Because a lot of times they have dyes and chemicals in these sports drinks, and I'm not a big fan of that. I don't know about the one you said, but I don't know specifically. But they have dyes, chemicals, artificial sweeteners, inorganic supplements. That's why the Super Greens, the essential source, is going to give you plenty of the nutrients that you're needing, and then water is going to be your best friend there. And then the B vitamins. Yeah, you'll need more B vitamins, yes.
Okay. If it'll clarify my liver, will that help my way of thinking?
Oh, absolutely. No, once the liver clears up, the body is amazing how quickly it starts to heal. Yeah, but that's why you gotta. It's hard to do that. And once you're healthy, it's easy to stay healthy. But getting healthy is the problem. So a lot of fruits and vegetables, raw food, at least one day, salad, at least one meal a day. It has to be a salad, big salad. And you got to stay away from the sugar because the sugar stimulates the part of your brain called the nucleus accumbens, which is the same part of the brain that's stimulated by alcohol. So you got to break the addiction, and you break the addiction by getting away from the sugars.
Yes.
Okay? All right, Randall, thanks so much. Got to move on. All right, folks, we're talking about headaches today. We've got a lot of callers. Folks, if you're on hold, please keep holding, okay? I'm going to get to you, I promise. But we got a break coming up, and I don't want to start a question where I can't finish it before the break. So we're talking today about headaches. That's my topic, and I like your topics, too. Your topics are pretty cool. You got a lot of good questions today. So we're talking about the headaches. A number of symptoms can occur before you start getting what's called a migraine. And when you start to feel these things, if you start seeing visual flashes of light, if you start localized numbness, weakness on one side of the body, confusion, difficulty thinking, and even sometimes vertigo, that's usually a sign that it's starting to kick in. So you got to be careful. And one of the things I'm going to suggest you do is get yourself some magnesium supplement. You can get a powdered magnesium. You can call my office. We have magnesium supplements as well. And the magnesium, if you take it on a regular basis, many times helps. Because the brain of somebody who has headaches is different than people who don't. Now, if you've been in a car accident, if if your head snaps forward and backwards, what you would call whiplash, the brain floats in the skull. And if the head goes backwards, the brain slams into the front of the skull. And then as your head goes forward, your brain slams into the back of the skull. That's called a contre-coup injury. And a contre-coup injury means front and back in French. It means forward and backwards in French. And the brain can actually get bruised. So that's why I always say if you've ever been in a car accident, if the car was damaged, you were damaged 100% of the time. And that's why we see so many car accidents. And attorneys love working with us. Insurance companies love us because we do a real good job with them. And a lot of people know us from the radio. Say, oh, it's Dr. Joe. Absolutely. Whatever he says, do. And we work with a team of other doctors because we want to get you well and keep you well. Folks, got to go to break. If you have a question, 844-44-Dr. Joe. That number rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air. My website, 24 hours a day, drjoeesposito.com. You can order supplements today. Send me questions through the website if you don't want to come on the air. Send me questions. Read the articles that I have there. Get my books there, my supplements. Really good source of information. drjoeesposito.com. Number here, 844-44-Dr. Joe. Hey, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe here. Glad you could spend a little time with me today. A lot of good callers today. Do appreciate that. A lot of good information. We're talking about headaches today, what causes them. Number one cause of headaches, by far, pinched nerves in the neck. I've been doing this now. Been seeing patients between my practice, my residence, my internships there when I was younger, 35 years. Can't tell you how many patients I've come in. I remember it's so great over the years, patients coming in with headaches. And one fellow's in the military, 30 years, had to drop out of the military. His headaches were so bad. And after a few treatments, he came in one day, big mountain of a man. He's crying, tears in his eyes. I said, what's wrong? He says, doesn't hurt. I said, what doesn't hurt? He goes, my headaches. He says, I don't know what it's like to not have a headache. He says, this is amazing. I don't know what to say. And it was so touching. And I love when patients, that happens a lot, pretty much every day in our offices where people get miracle. They think it's a miracle, when really it's not a miracle. All we did was get to the cause of the problem and not just treat their symptoms. All right, let's talk a little bit more here to some of the callers. Paul, how can we make your day better?
Hey, I'm calling about the brain. Is it true that vegan diets, if they're not done right, can lead to brain problems?
Yep.
Can you explain that?
Sure. It's also true that people that aren't vegans, if they don't do it right, can lead to brain damage. Anybody can lead to brain damage if they don't do it right. So the answer is it's not the vegan diet that's the problem. It's people not eating the right foods. That's the problem. I've known sick vegans and I've known sick meat eaters. So the body functions extremely well on a vegan diet. I mean, at my age, I'm pretty old. I run circles around 20-year-olds in my office. I run circles around my patients. Obviously, listen to the show. When the callers call in, I don't have any notes. I don't know what they're going to ask. So my brain works really good, and that's all due to a plant-based diet. Now, if you're eating nothing but donuts and cookies and brownies, well, that's not a good diet regardless. So a good diet will consist of mostly fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, I rely on them like crazy. Staying away from the sugar is going to give you the best thing for the brain function. As soon as you start eating sugar, it can lead to things like it's linked to Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. So the sugar is going to be the one thing you got to stay away from, whether you're vegan or not vegan. And that's breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas. And then from a chiropractic standpoint, we always look at the pinched nerves in the neck because there's a blood vessel that supplies your neck called the basovertebral artery. And if the bones in the neck are twisted out of place, you can be pinching the basovertebral artery, which is going to affect brain function. So the answer to the question is any bad diet is going to affect the brain. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, Paul. Thanks so much. Appreciate the call. Oh, one more thing, Paul. Well, I lost him there. All right, one more thing, too. I have something called Dr. Joe's Nitric Oxide Support. And that's something I've found I'm getting some great results with because it opens up the blood supply. Now, one of the things, if you look at nitric oxide research, is it creates something called free radicals. And free radicals are not good. They're like Pac-Man. They eat through things. So you want to make sure you're doing an antioxidant if you're doing nitric oxide. And that's why we put quercetin in our nitric oxide support to make sure you're devouring any free radicals that the nitric oxide forms. And it's not just the brain that works. It's also your arms, your legs, keep it clean, your reproductive organs. Gentlemen, a lot of times as we get older, things don't work like they used to. And one of the reasons is blood supply. And a bad diet can cause hardening of the arteries, which can clog up the blood supply, and women, to your reproductive organs, keeping it clean. And nitric oxide can help open up those blood vessels. Also helps people many times with high blood pressure, but be careful. Because if you're taking medication and doing things like nitric oxide, you don't want to be doing the two together. Well, you can do together, but monitor your blood pressure. Because if the blood pressure drops too low, you might get weak. The blood pressure can drop too low, so then you have to be careful as to how that works as well. Does that make sense to you? Good. So nitric oxide, it's on my website, drjoeesposito.com. Let's see. Zara, you've been holding for a while. How can we make your day better?
Yes, Doc. I'm having a problem with my right side, my neck. Sometimes it would, feel stiff and hurts. So I was wondering if ginger, because I usually make the ginger juice,
Good.
if that would help with the pain.
Sure. Well, ginger is a great anti-inflammatory. Ginger is awesome. I do ginger every day. What I do is I get some organic ginger. I peel it, put it in a food processor, puree it. I cover it about 1/3.
And then make a juice, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, make lemon juice, put lemon and grind it up. And then I put it in an ice cube tray and freeze it.
Yes.
And then every morning I just take an ice cube out, a little stevia.
I do the same thing.
See, you must be brilliant. You think like me. You must be brilliant.
I do that with my celery and cucumber and everything.
Oh, yeah,
I just puree it, make a juice with it, concentrated, and when I'm ready, I just take an ice cube and put it in the water.
Yeah, it's so much easier.
But this pain that I have on my right side, you think it's a pinched nerve? Maybe I should come in to see you.
You should probably come see us because if you sounds like you're doing a pretty healthy lifestyle, and if you're doing a healthy lifestyle, you're not doing an inflammatory diet. Right. It's probably something physical like a pinched nerve.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so you're probably once again you're right. You're always right. Every time I've spoken to you, you've been right. I just want to tell you that right now. So.
Yeah, I know, but it keeps coming back. And when I drink the ginger juice, I feel like it clears up, but it comes back again. So maybe I should come into you and see maybe there is some.
Yeah, if it's a pinched nerve, we'll tell you it's a pinched nerve. If it's not a pinched nerve, we'll tell you that too. I mean, it's just that simple. It's not rocket science to get it checked out for you. So, just give us a call. At this number, 84444 Dr. Joe, we can set you up a time, okay?
Okay, all right. Thanks,
Aaron, so much. Appreciate it. All right. I've got several callers. Folks, keep hanging on. I'm going to get to you, I promise. But I got to do a little my notes here, too. A lot of good questions, so everybody out there, hang on. So we're talking more about the headaches, and it could be from, like Zara said, inflammation. That certainly can be part of it. Reduced production of energy. And what happens is if you take statin drugs, I'm not telling you don't take statin drugs. I'm going to make sure I'm clear on this. Statin drugs prevent your liver from producing something called coenzyme Q10. They also stop producing cholesterol. So by taking the statin drugs, your cholesterol usually drops, but you drop your levels of coenzyme Q10, CoQ10. CoQ10 is necessary to generate energy in the cells, in the part of the cell called the mitochondria. So if you're taking statin drugs, I usually recommend my patients do also take a coenzyme Q10 supplement. And years ago, I had a friend of mine, he was dating a pharmacist, and he called me up and he says, oh man, she had heard that and she had never heard about the coenzyme Q10 and the statin drugs. So he says she did the research and she was just thrilled to find that out. And now she recommends that to all her patients. The other thing is if we get healthy, hopefully we won't need the statin drugs, but that's another show. Folks, got to go to break. The number here, 84444 Dr. Joe. My website, if you want to order Super Greens, Essential Source, Dr. Joe's enzyme support, the nitric oxide, the adrenal support, probiotics, they're all on the website, drjoeesposito.com. Just Google Dr. Joe. If you want to make an appointment to come see us, you can do it there as well. If you have questions, send them to me through the website. If you don't want to come on the air, and do me a favor, tell your friends about the show. We're going to be right back. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe here. I'm just laughing at myself here. Ahmad told me to go on, and I forgot to turn my microphone on here, so... See, Ahmad, that's your job. You got to keep an eye on me. Somebody needs to keep an eye on me. So today we're talking about headaches and what causes them and what you can do to help get rid of them. And before the break, we talked about the body not being able to produce a lot of energy and something called coenzyme Q10 that goes into the mitochondria, and the mitochondria produce energy in the cells. And so with statin drugs, if you're taking statin drugs, not only does it reduce your cholesterol, it can reduce your production of coenzyme Q10 or CoQ10. Some other things, low magnesium levels. Magnesium helps relax your blood vessels. So if you're going to take a magnesium supplement, and if you're eating a good diet, you're probably getting plenty of magnesium. But if you're going to take a magnesium supplement, I got to give you a warning. Too much magnesium is magnesium is what they make milk of magnesia out of. So if you take too much magnesium, it can cause loose stools, and that can be kind of rough. And I got to warn athletes. They'll say, my muscles cramp. I'm going to take some magnesium before I go out and do my athletic event. Maybe not such a good idea. High levels of glutamate. And this is a biggie because glutamate is an amino acid, and we need some glutamate because glutamate helps produce neurotransmitters in the brain. And you need that to produce GABA and norepinephrine, so you need some glutamate. But if you have too much glutamate, it's an excitotoxin. It causes the brain and the nerves to fire faster than they're supposed to, and can lead to headaches. Now, where might you find glutamate? How about monosodium glutamate? Chinese food. A lot of people get headaches after they eat Chinese food. Now, I get a headache if I eat Thai food. And even though I've had the Thai restaurants in certain places swear, up and down, there's absolutely no fish sauce in this, and it tastes fishy. Well, usually fish sauce makes it taste fishy. And so if I eat it even a little bit, I'll get a blazing headache. So unfortunately, unless it's a vegan Thai restaurant that I can trust, I can't even go to Thai restaurants anymore because it's a problem. The best thing you can do, actually, is learn how to cook yourself. Learn how to make your own meals. If you don't know how to cook, my first book is a great guide. It's called Eating Right for the Health of It. And the first half of the book tells you how to change your diet, how to prepare your kitchen, parties, breakfast, lunches, dinner, snacks. And the second half is a bunch of recipes. If you have kids, this is important. I think that children need to learn how to cook. There's a great camp. It's called Camp Masterchef. It's from the TV show, Camp Masterchef. If you go to campmasterchef.com, they have camps in Georgia and Connecticut. And so that would be something, if you have kids and you have a couple of bucks sitting around that you can afford to send them, it would be a great thing to send them to because, granted, it's not a vegan, it's not a healthy cooking show, a cooking camp, but at least the kids will learn how to master the skills of getting in the kitchen and feeling comfortable. Because I'm amazed how many people don't prepare any food at all, and I prepare almost all my meals. I love cooking food. But Camp Master Chef might be something to consider for your kids if you have kids. Can't go as an adult, unfortunately. Sounds like it would be fun, though. But many times food is seasoned with monosodium glutamate if you're at a restaurant because it stimulates your umami taste buds. Yes, that's a real thing. And umami taste buds are the ones that make you taste savory foods. And monosodium glutamate stimulates that part, so it makes the taste, it's a flavor enhancer. So just be really careful with that. And if you go out for any type of Asian food, even Korean food, I loved Korean food. Every time I ate it, I get a headache. I'd get something called bibimbap, which was all vegetables. I leave the meat and the egg out. And they give you a red sauce. Well, the red sauce has fermented products in it. And many times when fermentation occurs, like in alcohol gives me a headache, but the fermentation can free up glutamic acid if they're using things like soy. So you got to be careful with that. Let's see. A couple of people hung up on me. I was ready to go to you. Gosh, sorry about that. Let's see here. I'm going to go to Pat, then George. Pat, how can we make your day better?
Oh, hey, Dr. Joe. You make every Sunday better. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you, Pat. Oh, I'm blushing. Ahmad, am I blushing? Ahmad saying yes. I'm blushing. Okay.
Well, just a little bit ago, you were talking about the pinched nerves in the neck.
Yes.
And I didn't want to assume anything because I know migraine headaches are a little different than other headaches.
Right.
And so is that also migraines caused from the same thing?
Oh, yeah. Many times it is. Now, many times migraines have, like we say, chemical triggers. Perfume set me off, too. I get headaches from that, too. But many, 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 many times it's a pinched nerve in the neck or it's a muscle that's spasming, that's pulling on a bone, that's pinching a nerve. So you got to try to figure out, like detective, try to figure out where it's all coming from. But yeah, the answer is yes. Most times. In fact, I've never seen one where there wasn't a pinched nerve involved.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I hate to assume anything medically.
There you go.
So I appreciate your answer.
That's why we're here, Pat. Come see us. You're not too far from us.
Thank you.
Great, Pat. Thanks so much. All right. George, how can we make your day better?
I'm sorry. Did you say George?
I did say George.
Hey, great. Thank you. Hey, first-time listener, and I get to talk to you. That's awesome.
Welcome.
Hey, I heard you mention I've been suffering from vertigo, and twice in the last probably 2 months or so, I've had vertigo to the point of throwing up.
Ooh, yes.
But it's not like just in the last week, so I'm thinking it's not like an ear infection, and they say it's usually an inner ear. Can chiropractic do anything for a vertigo?
Oh, yeah, we see vertigo patients, I don't want to say every day, probably every hour or so.
Really?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's very, very common. What happens is with vertigo, it's one of a couple of things. Number one, it could be the inner ear, could be the cerebellum, the back part of the brain, because that's the part of the brain that controls balance. That's why when you drink a lot, alcohol can get into the cerebellum, which affects the cerebellar function, which causes you to fall over. And the reason you throw up is because the same nerve that controls balance also controls your stomach, called the vagus nerve. And if the vagus nerve is being irritated, it can cause the stomach to contract and cause you to throw up. So the answer is we got to try to find out where it's coming from and then try to fix it. And in most cases, we get pretty good results. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. And so it could be something that's kind of a structural, for lack of a better way to put it.
That's perfect. That's exactly what it is. Yep. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So come see us, George.
Right,
we'll see what we can do for you. Thanks so much.
All right.
All right. Let's see. How we doing? Oh, we got to go to a break pretty soon. So if you're still holding, folks, keep holding on. We're going to get there. I promise you. And so we're talking about headaches today. And like we said before, like Pat said, a pinched nerve in the neck is by far the most common issue. But start thinking about what you're doing. It could be food sensitivities. It could be something that you're exposing yourself to. Like I said, for perfumes, for me, cause me to have problems. So I got to go to a break, folks. If you have a question, the number is 844-44-Dr. Joe. My website, if you want to get Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, minimum amount of nutrients. Everybody should be taking them, almost everyone. And you even give it to kids. If a kid can eat solid food, mix it in there. It's amazing to get those kids those nutrients, get their brain working. And the other supplements, my books, all on the website, drjoeesposito.com, or Google Dr. Joe, also available on Amazon, or come by our offices and pick them up. Save yourself the shipping. Always trying to save you some money there. Folks, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. Folks, don't go anywhere. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe here. Hope everybody's having a fun day today. A lot of good callers today, a lot of good questions, talking about headaches today. Now, as a chiropractor, I have to mention this because, again, sometimes I get wrapped up in the callers and I forget I got to cover certain things. Computers, big problem. And I get this question just about every day when I'm in my offices. My doctors get it all day, every day, is, Doc, how do I set my computer monitor? What's a good height? Well, it depends if you wear bifocals or not, of course. If you're wearing bifocals and you have to lean your head back because the screen's too close, you either got to move it closer or further away, whatever it is. But you want to keep your head level. Now, the top of your jaw should be flat and level with the ground. So what you want to do is sit in a chair where your legs are bent and your arms, you hang your arms down at your sides and then just bend your elbows. That's the level of your keyboard. Then the monitor needs to be, the top of the monitor needs to be level with your forehead. That's where it should be, and you should be looking straight on at the computer. If you have to tip your head back or you have to tip your head down, that's not where it wants to be. Move your monitor so that your head is level. Does that make sense? Because that's what we want to do is make sure that your head is level, because as soon as you start tipping your head backwards, that can start jamming those nerves in the upper part of the neck, and that can cause a lot of headaches, blurred vision, dizziness, loss of memory, fatigue, ringing of the ear, sinus congestion. That's all those nerves in the upper part of the neck and what happens when you pinch them. So if you're a computer person, like I think we all are, there's a big issue. There's always a genetic link to headaches. There could be a genetic link if you have it there. It could be an imbalance of sodium, potassium, calcium, epilepsy. A lot of times people have headaches and then they have seizures with them. Again, we go back to glutamate. Plays a big role in this disorder because it's accepted that elevations in brain glutamate play a major role in causing seizures, but many times people don't do anything about it. So what do I do about these headaches? You got to cut out that glutamate. And the monosodium glutamate is by far the most common thing. That's why I really want you to start taking care of yourself and cooking your own meals. You're going to save a ton of money, first of all. It's a lot more convenient, even though you think it's not because you're home anyway. And going to be a lot healthier. April, how can we make your day better?
Hey, thanks, Dr. Joe, for taking my call. I know we're talking about headaches. Artificial sweetener gives me headaches.
Yes.
So, and then I try to cut out sugar, and then I get a headache from that.
Right.
So I was wondering what your thoughts were on Swerve sweetener.
It's a brand
I heard
name.
You talk a lot about stevia.
Yeah, stevia. This is erythritol, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. If you do too much of it, no, xylitol certainly will give you a little diarrhea. But it's fine. It's nothing wrong with it. If you want to use it instead of stevia, that's fine. I personally like stevia, but either one is good.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay. Thanks, April.
Thank you.
Appreciate the call. All right, Andrew, you get the award for holding the longest today. How can we make your day better? Andrew.
Hello.
There you go, Andrew.
Yeah,
okay.
How you doing?
I'm good. How can we make your day better?
Awesome. Question I have for you is that I have overactive histamines, and they put me on some tablets. They said Zyrtex.
Sure.
The generic form. And I thought, is there a way I can use this in diet instead of actually taking tablets?
There's a supplement called quercetin. You might want to consider quercetin, Quercetin, perhaps. Went to school in New Jersey. I'm not sure I know how to spell. So. But quercetin is a wonderful antihistamine. Turmeric is great for that as well. But you really got to cut out the sugars, the breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas, the dairy, and the wheat. Those are the things that are going to be triggering those histamine reactions. So cut out all your dairy, all your wheat, all your sugar. Try some quercetin supplements. Give it 2 weeks. Let's see what happens.
All right. So
okay.
Quercetin supplements, turmeric, and cut out all the bread, sugars, and dairy, and I should be good.
You should be good. Now, do you have any acid reflux or heartburn, burping, gas, bloating?
I did have acid reflux, but what I did was I changed my diet instead of taking the tablets again because I said I don't like tablets. So
good. Yeah.
I started going to more of a natural food-based diet that my wife is on me on.
Perfect. Good. Yeah, because if you have acid reflux, anybody listening, acid reflux or gastritis or heartburn, the stomach can push up against the diaphragm. And if the stomach is up against the diaphragm, the stomach is spasmed. It may not be breaking down proteins properly. So the food passes from the stomach into the small intestine partially digested, where the body now doesn't recognize these undigested proteins. They recognize as a foreign protein, and it causes a histamine reaction, causing inflammation. Histamine causes swelling, which kind of protects the body. So acid reflux or heartburn many times can cause a hyperhistamine reaction as well. So if you have that, usually easy to fix. We go in and we massage it. We adjust the stomach or pull it down away from the diaphragm, and in many cases, that just solves the problem. So if what I suggested doesn't work from a nutrition standpoint, you might want to consider coming to see us and let us check your stomach too. Okay?
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Yep. Right, thank you. I appreciate it.
And folks, if you haven't signed up for my newsletter yet, you need to do that. Go to my website, drjoeesposito.com. And just right on the front page, sign up for Dr. Joe's newsletter. We never give out your email address. We're not getting hacked. We're not going to spread your information around for political reasons. We are going to just send you our newsletter. And we give a lot of good information in newsletter, including where I'm speaking live. Love to have you come out to the live lectures when we put a new podcast out. That's coming up in the next week or so. We're going to announce that. And stay in touch with us. Sometimes we have specials on the supplements, but sign up for the newsletter, absolutely. You can follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. Love to have you do that as well. We send out good information there, too. But we want to give the information as quickly as possible, and all you have to do is let us know you're there, and we would love to have that opportunity to work with you. If you want to order supplements, if you want to order books, if you have questions, my website is there 24 hours a day, drjoeesposito.com. At least Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Please at least do that. If you have adrenal issues, bags under your eyes, tired all the time, stressed out, drink a lot of coffee, you probably want to consider the adrenal support. The nitric oxide support, great for opening up blood vessels, has quercetin in it, acts as an antioxidant, which is wonderful. We have a B vitamin. Most of us are deficient in B vitamins, and when you take B vitamins, it helps the nervous system work. And as a chiropractor, that's my job. I want to make sure that we get your nervous system working the best we possibly can. Physically, pinch nerves. Chemically, from nutrition and supplements, and then we want to make sure your digestive system is working so that you can absorb the nutrients and make it work. We're getting to the cause of your problem, not just treating the symptoms. And that's why our doctors are so popular, why we get patients literally from all over the world come see us, because we try to get to the cause of the problem. A lot of major universities, I'm meeting with one next week, as a matter of fact, one of the major universities near my office, they want to talk about setting up a wellness program. It's a medical school. And they're talking about wanting to set up a wellness program. And they want to have me on a podcast first, and then in the email they said maybe we can work together on future projects. Isn't that exciting? That healthcare is turning. I'm sad that it had to be forced to do this, but it's turning toward how can we get people better faster. And that's real exciting for me because for 33 years in practice plus schooling and everything, I fought a battle. Natural health care was kind of shunned upon. Oh, that's not real stuff. That's quackery. It's not real medicine. And now we're starting to realize there's a place for everything. There's a place for medicine. There's a place for chiropractic. There's a place for nutrition. There's a place for supplements. And you have to kind of weed through all this information to try to figure out what's best for you. I do that for you. You don't have to worry about it. That's my job. A lot more to talk about. We've got to go to a break. A lot more to talk about headaches, foods that may cause it, estrogen, how estrogen may be affecting your hormones. If you have a question, your headaches, if you have a question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr. The website, lots of good information there, folks. Go hang out at my website, drjoeesposito.com. Read articles, listen to podcasts, send me questions if you have questions, order the supplements, the books, all there. I want to be there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for you. And the number, 844-44-Dr. if you have a question, call now. That rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air. Hey, folks, I got to go to a break. Do me a favor. Tell your friends about the show. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe here. Thanks for being here with me, talking today about headaches. A lot of people have them. A lot of people don't know what to do about them. And they miss work, and it affects their social life, and it affects their family, their church, everything. When you got a headache, man, it's not a lot of fun. And so we always try to get to the cause of the problem. And sometimes, most times, it's a pinched nerve. Sometimes it's a muscle that's pulling on the bones, which move out of place, that pinch the nerves. I know I've got an old shoulder injury, and it flares up every now and then if I do something lifting wrong or something like that. And I'll start with shoulder pain, and bam, it goes right up into my head. So it's the levator scapulae that's involved with me, in case you need to know what muscle it is. And it's an old injury, and so I do everything we can to get it to heal. And we stabilize it pretty good, but every now and then it flares up. And so I got to be careful because there are certain triggers that will set me off. Certain foods will do it to me. A couple of things you might want to consider avoiding. Chocolate. I can't do chocolate. It gives me headaches. It contains phenylethylamines and tyramine, and those things can trigger headaches. Aspartame, we talked about that earlier, artificial sweetener. Sulfites, nitrates. Now, nitrates can be good if they're found in vegetables. They convert into nitric oxide, or you can take Dr. Joe's nitric oxide support. We make it from something called citrulline, which comes from things like watermelon. But nitrates, if they're heated around proteins, like a meat, for example, smoked meats, sausages, cold cuts, that can create nitrosamines, and that's a bad thing. That can cause a lot of headaches. So, again, think about what you're eating. Keep that diet. Go to my website. Print up the diet diary. It's free. It's just a piece of paper, drjoeesposito.com, and start writing down what you're eating. See when the headaches come in, and then see if you could figure out what it is. Nitrates, alcohol, caffeine. Of course, I can't do caffeine at all. And these excitotoxin food additives like aspartame and glutamine are the things that can trigger the headaches pretty bad. Now, it makes no sense when it comes to healthcare, this is kind of what we talk about a lot, to dump a bunch of drugs into a patient and never tell them that their diet is a major source of their problem. And never tell them that pinched nerves are a major source of their problem. And never tell them that their digestive system is a major source of their problem. Acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating. So I am not against drugs, and I am not against surgery. If you need it, if I need it, I'm going to take it, and I have no problem with it. But I always want to get to the cause. You know, it's like trying to treat somebody if they have arsenic poisoning, but let them continue eating arsenic. Well, you're really not getting to the cause. You're just trying to cover up the issues. And that's why we try to give you the things that you can do to get well and stay well. So let's talk about a couple of things that contain MSG. Folks, if you're on hold, keep holding. I'm going to get to you, I promise. Monosodium glutamate. Studies have shown that foods containing MSG can increase glutamate blood levels anywhere from 20-fold to 50-fold. And when they enter the brain, they can trigger the migraine. It affects what's called the trigeminal nuclei, the nerve called the trigeminal nerve. It affects that nerve there. Glutamate also increases sensitivity to all types of pain. So if you're eating foods with monosodium glutamate, now in my first book, I have a whole chapter on MSG. And there's over 40 different names that are used as food additives. You don't see monosodium glutamate too often because everybody knows what that is. How about things like natural flavoring? Carrageenan. Carrageenan is a seaweed, but it frees up a lot of glutamic acid. Hydrolyzed protein, isolated soy protein concentrate. How about whey powder? A lot of people think they need more protein in their diet, so they take whey, W-H-E-Y, and that can have free glutamic acid in it. Sodium or calcium caseinate. If you're using stock or broth, many of those have monosodium glutamate. Many processed foods contain them. And the only way to avoid them, again, is prepare your food at home. And this way you know what's going into it. And I promise you, folks, what I do is I start my day with super greens and essential source and then maybe a piece of fruit or two. If I'm really hungry, I may have a little oatmeal. I don't even cook the oatmeal, just old-fashioned oats, organic. I may add some raspberries or cranberries to it. And or raisins, and I'll just add a little coconut milk, ramen milk. That holds me over pretty well. If you're a big eater, it's going to take time to adapt and change your lifestyle to eating less food, but you can do it. If I need a snack, usually have maybe some nuts or something like that. Lunch is almost always a salad unless I'm going out to lunch because you got to get your raw food in the body. And then dinner kind of varies. Depending if I'm going out, if I'm going to stay home, it kind of varies. Dinner I kind of leave open. But I'm always eating plant-based. I'm vegan. I've been a vegan for 33 years. And I'm not asking you to do that, but it's not a bad idea. Most people, when they have headaches, are low in B vitamins because the B vitamins help control the nervous system. So it's really a good idea to consider taking a B vitamin. We have a great one on my website, Dr. Joe's B Complex. And the B vitamins give you energy. It helps the nervous system work. Really important to get those B vitamins in there. Let's go back to the callers. Bill, how can we make your day better? Hello, Bill.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening. Thanks for taking my call.
You are welcome.
This doesn't relate to headaches, but I've been getting consistently the tinnitus that I've had for over 10 years, but it's been consistently getting worse and worse.
Oh, ow.
And I didn't know if there was anything that you might suggest that might alleviate that. I went to the whatever, not ophthalmologist. Or
right,
not,
audiologist. Audiologist.
Yes,
mm-hmm.
Audiologist. And I have very slight hearing loss in one ear, left ear, but he doesn't know why I have this severe case of tinnitus.
Sure.
I don't know why.
Let's talk about it.
Seems like it's getting worse and worse. And some nights it's just so hard to get to sleep. I can't. And
sure.
I have a tinnitus app called Relief.
I understand, yeah.
That helps, but it doesn't always
just
do
white
the job.
noise, yeah.
And I was just wondering if there's anything you might suggest that
Sure. A couple of things. You want the top bone in the neck called the atlas can move out of place, and many times that can irritate the auditory nerve, and that can give you the tinnitus. Drugs, many times like aspirin, can stimulate tinnitus, so that's an issue. The occiput, the skull bone, can shift sideways. That can cause it. And inflammation. If you're eating the standard American diet, alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener, that can cause inflammation of the nerve. So getting on an anti-inflammatory diet is really, it's good for everything, including tinnitus here. The B vitamins might help, something like Dr. Joe's B complex. Of course, everyone should be taking Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source as the minimum amount of nutrients. Drinking more water can help because you may be dehydrated, and many times dehydration can lead to it. So check the bones in the neck. And again, you're right up the street from one of our offices. Check the bones in the neck.
Yes, that was my other question. Is there anything chiropractically that I can do? Cause I had double knee replacement back in August, and I was taking Celebrex and different types of aspirin and drugs.
Yeah.
And they said, well, that can trigger tinnitus and make it worse.
Absolutely.
So I'm off all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if there's anything chiropractic.
Oh, yeah. No, we see tinnitus patients all day, every day. And then we work on the nervous system. Yeah, we work on the nervous system. We work on a diet. We check the digestive system. I've had patients already where they have acid reflux. We fix the acid reflux and the tinnitus goes away. And that's a weird connection of nerves. So the nerves are kind of interesting how they all work. Yeah. So if you want to come see us, we'd be more than happy to take a look at it for you.
Yeah, that would be great. So just
844.
Is that correct?
Yeah, 844-44 Dr. Joe. Just dial that number when we're not on the air. We can get you an appointment.
Oh, okay, great.
Thanks, Bill.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate the call. Thanks so much. See, folks, we're always trying to get to the cause of the problem, not just treat the symptoms. And that, even in Bill's case there, we got to look at the nervous system, the digestive system, and your diet. And when we do the dietary work, sometimes we see that people have, well, gosh, I drink a lot of diet sodas, and that could be causing the headaches, or I'm taking aspirin, it's causing the tinnitus. I'm doing excitotoxins, artificial sweeteners, or glutamic acid foods, that can be causing it. Folks, the number here at the studio, 844-44 Joe, which rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air. If you want to get Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Essential Source, B Complex, the Adrenal Support, Nitric Oxide, all the supplements are on my website and my books, drjoeesposito.com. Or just Google Dr. Joe, also available on Amazon. If you have an Amazon account, you can do it there. Or come by our offices if you're in the Atlanta area and save yourself some shipping, too. Don't go anywhere. Tell your friends about the show. I'll be right back. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe here. Glad you could spend a little time with me today. It's always nice having you around. Talking today about headaches, and we're going to take another call or two. If you're on hold, keep holding on there, folks. I do want to cover some things here because I know it's our last segment. I got to get some things in, and I always laugh. I put together all these notes and research, and I document everything, and then I get on the air, and I use like a page of my 20, 30 pages of research that I've done. So a couple other foods that might trigger headaches. Tomatoes, if they're in a sauce, it frees up the glutamic acid if they're pureed or even as a tomato paste. So that might trigger headaches. Beans and nuts, especially peanut butter. Mushrooms, especially portobellos. Cheeses. Folks, you got to cut out the cheeses for 1,000 different reasons. One of them being it can cause headaches, especially Parmesan, because why? Well, the fermentation process, and the fermentation process gives me a headache. I haven't had cheese in 30 years, so I don't have to worry about that one. Dried and condensed cow's milk are all naturally high in glutamic acid, and, of course, the whey. The whey protein, you really want to stay away from that as well because it's an excitotoxin. And now, we talked about natural sources just then, beans and tomatoes and cheeses. Now, is there a difference between something like monosodium glutamate, added to Chinese food or other foods as food enhancers, or if you have it from a natural source? And the answer is no. There's no such thing as artificial glutamate. It's always extracted from foods, and all glutamate and aspartic acid or aspartame are excitotoxins in high concentrations. Some people, just a little bit, sip of coffee, boom, headache. A little bit of cheese, boom, headache. So once again, going to more fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds is going to be a good thing. If you still have headaches, you might want to consider the nuts as being an option. Another often overlooked trigger of headaches is hypoglycemia. You got to keep the blood sugar stable. And if you start to crash, that can cause headaches. And so if you notice you start getting weak and dizzy and moody when you start crashing, as soon as you start to get hungry, have yourself a snack. Of course, you could always have Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Those are spectacular. And they're powders. I mix them with coconut milk or almond milk. I shake it up. Somebody sent me an email the other day saying which ones don't need to be mixed. Well, they all need to be mixed. And we don't add any fake dyes or chemicals or agents in there that are going to make it mix easy. That's why I like to shake it up in a jar. You can mix it with a spoon. It's fine. And sometimes you get little clumps on the top. Just eat them. I love those things. The little Dr. Joe Super Greens, little berries on the top. I like to look at it. And that's pretty wonderful. And it's pretty good stuff when you start taking these. And that's why people all over the world love this stuff and swear by it. And I did say earlier, if you're just tuning in, you can give it to kids, too. If a kid can eat solid food, all the essential source is fruits and vegetables in a powder form. And then we had prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, a complete multivitamin. You may not want to give them a whole scoop if they're a little baby, but maybe a half a teaspoon. Mix it in their food and see what happens. I think you'll be pretty happy with the results, as most people are. Let's go back to the callers. Now I got a few more things I got to cover. Edwin, how can we make your day better?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Dr. Joe?
I'm so glad you called.
I have this problem with prostate.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes it being a little inflamed, what is called
prostatitis. Uh-huh.
Right. Is salt palmetto, is that good to help shrink the prostate and also help that with that inflammation?
Yeah, saw palmetto is wonderful. That's one of the good supplements that you can take for prostate. When it comes to any supplement, make sure you're getting a quality product. Because I've seen a lot of studies out there saying, well, vitamin C doesn't help colds. Well, they didn't use vitamin C, they used ascorbic acid. Well, saw palmetto didn't help the prostate. Well, they used one that was cut down with other additives. So if you're going to get one, always get the best. In anything in life, always use the best. It's always cheaper. The other thing you want to consider with the prostate, too, Edwin, is the nerves in the low back. The nerves in the low back control your back, hips, legs, knees, and ankles. So you might have pain in those areas. If you have a pinched nerve in the low back, it also affects the colon, sex organs, and bladder. So pinched nerves in the low back can lead to things like gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, urinary problems, erectile issues, prostate issues. So even if we're taking the best saw palmetto in the world, it can be a problem if you have pinched nerves. And then using it. I know I'm not making a joke here. Using the prostate is important, too, because it's like any other organ in the body. You use it or lose it. But the saw palmetto, the super greens, the essential source, alkalize the system. Stay away from coffee, any type of caffeine when you have prostatitis. That's not a good thing either because that can cause an inflammatory reaction. You want to keep the body more alkaline, not more acid.
So if I have something, could I take that as a daily supplement or just take it? I shouldn't take it as a daily supplement.
Oh, no, you can take saw palmetto as a daily supplement. There's no problem there. Nope, absolutely. Yeah, we have some good supplements in our office, too, for prostate, but the saw palmetto is a good generic, general term you could use. Yeah, absolutely. Okay?
I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Edwin.
So much.
Thanks for calling in. All right, folks, a lot more things to cover. Once again, didn't cover everything I need to. I just need more time. You know what? Just let us go until, I don't know, the morning drive or something, and just let us keep going because we got way too much to cover. I'm a guest on a guy, Eric Von Hessler. I'm a guest on his show, and every time we're on, he's always like, we need more time with you. I said, well, give me more time. It's your show. Give me more time with it. More things about headaches. Pinched nerve, as again, number one, absolutely positively. That's most common thing that causes any pain in the body. Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling. You've got to check the bones. If they're out of place, put them back in place. And every day, patients come in my offices and talk to my doctors, and they say, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I suffer so long? And the answer is, I have no idea. Because maybe you didn't know, and that's why we do this show, so you can take control of your own health. But so many people say, I wish I'd come here 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years sooner, because my life would have been so much different. So stop suffering needlessly. But I am going to tell you this. If you do come see us, or even if you want to get the supplements, make sure you're serious. You know, if you come to my office and you just want to chat, just send me a question through my email on my website, drjoeesposito.com. We want people who are serious about wanting to get well. So when you're ready to get well, come on in. And a lot of patients come in and say, Doc, I wasn't ready a year ago, 2 years ago. I'm ready now. I'm tired of suffering. We accept people with all insurances, no insurances, car accidents, sports injuries. I've never seen a car accident where the car was damaged and the occupants weren't, ever. And that's why it's so important if you're in an accident, you come see us right away. And I want to tell you this, just not necessarily for us, but for everything. A lot of patients are saying, well, my doctor dropped out of network. I know in Atlanta, one of the big hospitals just dropped out of Blue Cross Blue Shield network. Do you know why they drop out? No one ever says this. And as a media personality, I need to say this. We, the doctors, drop out of networks because we're losing money seeing patients that are in network. The insurance companies are paying so little money that it's not worth it for us to see the patient. So don't get mad at the doctors if they drop out. Get mad at the insurance companies. Nobody wants to drop out of a network. We want to be in every network we possibly can. But here's the catch. Many times, it's better for you to use out-of-network benefits than in-network benefits. So just because us or another doctor, we're in a lot of networks, but if we're not on your list or a doctor or hospital is on your list, call and see. Because sometimes out-of-network benefits are better than in-network benefits. Folks, got to run. My website, drjoeesposito.com. You can order Super Greens, Essential Source, Adrenal Supplements, B vitamins, a bunch of other supplements, my books. If you have questions, send them to me through the website, drjoeesposito.com. If you want to make an appointment, drjoeesposito.com or 844-44-DR-JOE. When I'm not on the air, of course, rings through our offices because we want to help get you well and keep you well. And the podcasts are on the website as well. Also on Amazon. If you have an Amazon account, you can order supplements there. Hey, tell your friends about the show. We'll catch you next time. Tell your friends